All right, hello and welcome to the Spotter Stand, coming at you live this week from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Once again in the booth with us, we've got BSR Pockets, BSR Hot Rod, a couple of special guests this week. We've got BSR Axel Foley in the booth with us, and also Randy Claflin. How you guys doing?
Doing good. That's so.
What up, everybody?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it was Axel Foley.
Hey guys.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about this week. We had some good racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've got a couple of big announcements coming up this week that I'm sure you guys have heard throughout the week of racing that there's going to be some announcements coming up here on the Spotter Stand this weekend, and we're going to bring them to you during this show. Let's get kicked off here with BSR Pockets and his announcement that he's got to share with us. I'm going to click over to these render, and this will probably give you an idea of what Pockets is going to be talking about here. Why don't you go ahead, let us know what's going on, Pockets.
All right. Today is September the 30th. That means tomorrow is October 1st. And as most people are aware, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a couple of weeks ago, Brian Voiles came to me, as Brian Voiles does, says, no Pockets, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Kathy is a 10-month survivor. And I'd like to do something special. Think we need to do something, and I agreed wholeheartedly. And Brian always gives me the support I need. He come to me with that, and so I told him that I would take care of it for him. And we just wanted a way to this is just bringing awareness, sharing a little bit of Kathy's story with the success she's had, and do something special for breast cancer awareness. So what we're going to do is the problem come up with, you know, you got to have pink cars. You ain't got no way around that. There's got to be pink cars. Best way that we could come up with that is that on 2 Saturday nights of our drunkencowjerky.com Battle of the Six Flavors race, where we all race as different flavors on a team, for 2 nights in October on Saturday night, we're going to turn all of those cars pink. We are going to race our team series race as a team, but we are going to have a separate series of scoring and individual scoring that's squarely in the middle of the team series. The first race is going to be this Saturday night at the team series race, October the 6th. Second race will be after Talladega week, and it will be that Saturday night in the team series race. We're going to combine the individual points from each race and determine a top select amount of drivers. I'm going to tell you this. There are going to be lots of prizes, and our sponsor is Drunken Cow Jerky. So if you like jerky, you are not going to want to miss this. This is going to be a big deal. 2 nights. It's a separate series. Going to be run inside the team series. Now, for those of y'all that don't understand, and I know Momo, if he's out there listening, we already got a pink car painted up for you since you don't have one. We will have a car for people who are not officially on a team to be able to run in these 2 races. But you must run that pink car to be eligible for the prizes. That's what the challenge is. And we're hopefully going to just do our part to bring awareness to breast cancer. So thanks to Brian and to Kathy and everyone. And so did I explain that correctly? Does everybody understand that?
Yes. And if you don't mind, Larry had a good idea. And for me to ask you a question, I proposed to him. And that way you'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone and answer me and everyone else that'll have the same darn question.
Okay.
If I have a whole pink car painted with a number, just like my car, but it's turned pink, can we run that, barring, as long as that number's not in use in the team series?
If your car is pink, you are eligible. We just have one for people who don't have a car or can't get a car in time.
Perfect. Thank you.
So basically, everybody who's already a member of a team on Saturday night will already have a pink car ready to go.
Absolutely.
If you are not a member of a team, um, like Axel, he's going to do some work on his Innovative Vapors car and make sure it's got lots of pink on it. If you need some help or would like to get a car, if you're not a member of the team, put a word out there, and somebody will make sure that you get a pink car to be able to run in these 2 races if you want to.
So I explained that correctly. Was that confusing?
No, sir.
No, sir.
This
Special
is
races, they're still going to be team series races, and they will be scored as team series. The teams will still be scored their top finisher, as I understand it. And also, combined between those 2 weeks, you're just going to combine the individual points of each individual driver, and best finishes basically. All your points from both races are going to get combined, and some of the top drivers will be selected.
Yes, and the beauty that I thought of about it is when we came up with this out of necessity, and Scar was the one that came up with it, because I went to him with the issue of the paints, and he gave me this suggestion, and I ran with it because it was perfect, because it took care of the one problem that I was facing, was with a mountain of new pink cars and downloading, uploading, yada yada yada. The beauty of this is that, yes, it's an individual challenge placed squarely in the team series, but there's going to be so many prizes that there's 3 members on a team. I can assure you, you're going to want to be in the top 3, and you have 2 teammates in the team series. So your whole team can put themselves in a beneficial place, not by just doing good in the team series, but in the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Awareness Challenge in those 2 races, and you and your teammates can walk away with the prizes. You see what I'm saying? So it's an individual series scoring wise, but it's still the team race, and your teammate's still your teammate. So however you want to play that, it's up to you.
Yes, and the team scoring will be still as team scoring like it always has, Killa. And there is a separate whole total series just to keep individual points.
Yes, that's exactly right. The team series is not going to be affected. It's still the team series race. This is just a separate scoring segment of series of 2 races. You're going to get your individual points for and see where you place. That's simple.
Now, Axel has also got a little announcement for us, but we're going to make you hold off on that one. We're going to get to that a little bit later in the show, and let's move on here and take a look at the racing that has happened this past week at BSR. We're going to start with Wednesday night. Of course, the truck series is still off.
Disconnected from your channel.
And while the truck series is off, we run the Drunken Cow Jerky Late Model Dirt Series. This week ran at Orange County. And it was BSR Ricky J and that number 193 Voiles trucking machine that brought home the victory at Orange County. Great job, Rick.
That's good win, Rick. Brian Voiles got 2nd, Burko 3rd, Brain Fade is 4th, and Hot Rod rounds out top 5.
Orange County, a hell of a racetrack. I love that place. It's fast.
Now, is the Dirt Series still on next week, or are the trucks going to be back next week?
Nope, the trucks are still off. We are headed to Terre Haute on Wednesday night. A long, flat track. You'll like that one, Kill It.
Terre Haute. So we'll be at another dirt track next week. Let's take a look. What are there, just 3 races to go or 2 races to go in this series, Larry?
There is 3, I think, counting Terre Haute. No, 2 counting Terre Haute. I'm sorry.
2 races to go. Let's take a look at the points here in this series with just 2 to
Joined
go.
your channel.
It's still BSR Brain Fade holding down that top spot with BSR Furco in second place, only 15 points back. BSR Hot Rod gains another spot. Last Wednesday night moved up to third, down by 18. BSR Pockets dropped a spot to fourth place, down by 19. And there I am, BSR Texan. I moved up a spot to move into the top 5, down by 100. Two races to go. Brain Fade's got a 15-point lead, and that's going to be tough. Brain he's a good, steady dirt driver. He may not bring home very many victories, but he brings home a lot of top 5 finishes. So I think if he can stay in that top 5 range, he may have himself a championship at the end of this dirt series.
I moved up a spot in the points, but Brain Fade still stretched 3 points on me in the standings. So that tells you it's going to be tough. 2 races, 15 points, even 18 to me. Unless he comes into catastrophic problems, he's pretty much got that sewed up by running the way Brain Fade always runs, nice and consistent.
Texan, I noticed that you gained a spot there. Do you think you can challenge for 4th place with how many 2 races left?
Oh, no, there's no way. You kidding me? 81 points in 2 races?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to hear you say that on the spotter stand out loud.
Here's the question, Pockets. Here's the question, Pockets. Knowing the top 3 get prizes, are you going to sneak back into that?
Well, I've been telling you right now, how many races did you say? I want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. 2 races left?
2.
And I'm looking at 19. It's mathematically possible, but I tell you what, yes, second place is definitely doable. Second place is
it's only 4 points to second.
Second place is
1 to third.
Yeah.
You're racing what? At the top 3, you said get prizes in this. So,
that's right.
Basically, you're shooting for Hot Rod and Furco there. Hot Rod only 1 point in front of you, and Furco only 4 points in front of you.
Well, and here's another thing to note too. I wished I would have looked at this the other night when them boys loaded up after the race and drove over to Terre Haute and unloaded and did some late night practicing over there. If I would have seen this then, I would have probably have followed them on over to Terre Haute. But it's 2 races. A lot of stuff can happen. That's 2 great drivers. I mean, damn, that's the Foot Doctor. You know what I mean? But,
well, you've still got some time there. We don't have any racing going on Monday or Tuesday. I know you're usually tied up on Monday, but Tuesday, if you need to get in there and do some practice, you've still got some opportunity to do it.
Oh yeah, we're confident. Team Hot 38 Drunken Cow Jerky. We're confident. We're all right. We'll see what we got.
And here's the goal, Pockets, because this is my goal. My goal is to catch Brain. So if I keep striving to catch Brain, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do, will pretty much put me up there and keep me in that top 3. I'll tell you.
And one of my goals is for the Foot Doctor to stub his toe, and I hope he stubs it on Furco. So I'm still not counting that part out. So there you go. Y'all do what y'all need to do. I will too. We'll see how it breaks out here on the spotter stand.
Good luck with that. You do know we're ending this series in Springfield, right?
I know all about it.
Well, I noticed that we've got Les Alexander that's joined us in the booth here. Welcome, Les. How you doing?
Good, guys. How you all doing?
God bless.
And there was one other thing with the dirt, Killer. We during Talladega week we moved the truck series, so there's actually 3 weeks total that the trucks will be off that we're going to be running dirt.
But those.
That's why I thought there was 3 weeks left counting this week, but I forgot there's a fun run in the middle. That we're going to be running.
Okay.
It'll be not next week, but the week after.
Well, let's move on to Thursday night. Thursday night we run the Cup Series following the NASCAR Cup schedule. Of course, this week NASCAR ran at the Charlotte Road Course, and while
we
that track, no, we did not. While that track did become available. Towards the beginning or middle part of this week, seeing how we run our schedule, the week upcoming to the NASCAR race, we ran this race on Thursday night. That we just didn't feel like a few days was enough notice to let everybody know, hey, this is the track we're running. So we substituted the Charlotte Roval track for the normal Charlotte track that we raced earlier in the season. And we had a great race there on Thursday night. And this Thursday night, it was BSR DJ Champ. Brings that STP Dodge Hemi into victory lane. You don't see DJ get too many wins outside of those super speedways, but here he is at Charlotte. Man, he had a great car. He dominated, led a lot of that race, and brought home the victory at Charlotte. Great job, DJ.
Yes, great win to DJ. This race was so good. We only had a couple cautions. There was only 3 cars ended up on the lead lap. DJ with the win. Texans second. Terry Scott third. Bama gets 4th, and Brain Fade rounds out the top 5.
Now look here. Everybody knows that when you see the 43 hauler pull off in the parking lot at whatever track you're at, part times he's there. He's got something. That's why he's there. And he had something and showed up, and he got the victory. So all you can say to that is congratulations, hey, champ. Did what needed to be done, and that was a fantastic race. And I wanted to address that change or not running the Roval. Look, we still we want to try to simulate the real schedule, but we have to make sure that we put on a good race for the people that come to these races. And we just weren't comfortable with the available tracks and with the lateness, like he said, of the other track coming out, that we could put out a good race for everyone, because we run cautions at road courses. Very few people do. We do. And we do pretty good at it. We don't turn them cautions off. They are what they are. So we decided to have a better race for everyone. It was going to be beneficial for us to just run the regular Charlotte track. And it turned out that was a great call, because that was a great race. Like y'all said, it was a fantastic race. You couldn't really ask for much better than that right there. What was it, 5 green flag stops?
Yeah, we only had 3 cautions, and one of them was a blown tire at the very end of the race. So 2 during the race, basically.
Yes, and that was a little bit longer race because it's based off the 600. But it was a great race, and congratulations, DJ. And that was a heck of a win. He earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that puts us, 3 races into the chase in the Cup Series now? Is that right?
I believe you're right.
Third
That's
race.
3.
That was the 3rd race of the chase.
It was 3.
Let's take a look here at the points. 3 races into the Cup Series chase.
Take a look, shall we?
Would you looky there?
Oh, yeah.
BSR Texan moves up 2 spots to take over the lead.
Probably couldn't hardly wait to talk about this, could you?
And BSR Axel Foley, as you guys remember, went into this race holding the lead. Had a bad race, had some bad luck, but he hung in there and finished that race with the best possible finish he could. He dropped down 1 spot, still in second place, only down by 6 points. And look at BSR Terry Scott, moved up 4 places, down by 13 in third, moved up 4 spots. Great move there for Terry Scott. BSR Brain Fade also moved up a spot to tie with Steve Looney, who dropped 2 spots for 4th place. They're down by 14 points. Steve Looney had a little something. I believe he had to leave that race early, did he not? Luckily,
yes,
he was able to turn a
yes.
few laps, and he still got scored in that race. So
yes, he still gets his provisional. He took a bad hit there, but it was a personal issue that come up, and he had to pull off the track. So it's unfortunate, but yes.
Yeah, but only 3 races in, 7 races to go. Steve finds himself only 14 points off the lead there, tied for 4th place. And then you've got Momo, who moved up a couple of spots there in 6th, only down by 19 points. So a lot of drivers there. Really anybody, I would say anybody up there in the top 9, 10 drivers have really still got a good legitimate shot. And actually, I'm looking at Rick Craddock here down by 49. I believe he asked for some provisionals in this race. Have those been added into his score yet?
No, I'm just writing that down, and there's me and you have to get together after this. DJ, I believe, has got some bonus points coming, and Bama. I believe both those guys have bonus points coming also.
So there's a couple drivers in there that maybe didn't make one of the races, still haven't had their bonus points, pre-chase bonus points added in. And Rick Craddock sitting there in 11th place down by 49. He will get last place points for that race. So he's going to move up a little bit there as well. So really top 10, 11 drivers really still have a good legitimate shot at this championship with 7 races left to go. Where are we going to next week in this?
Oh, yeah.
Dover.
Oh, you know, we're going to get to a Dover race later on in this series. We did run Dover in the Voiles Trucking Series, and it's not so bad in the truck physics. Dover is a pretty good track, but in these Cup physics, it's with all that extra horsepower, it's a completely different race at Dover. You know, you got to watch out for that loose race car. If you start with a loose race car, man, by halfway through the run, you're barely going to be able to hold on to that thing, because I know that's my setup. My car gets so loose as we get through the run that normally I can't even complete a fuel run. Just my car gets so loose I can't drive it anymore, and I have to pit and get some fresh tires. So, man, Dover is going to be a tough track. That's going to be a hell of a race. Axel, if you've got something for Dover and you can make a fuel run or even the majority of a fuel run, you got a good shot at taking that top spot back at that track right there, because that's one that I usually struggle at in the Cup Series.
If I remember from earlier in the year, I don't remember anything about earlier in the year, so I'm going to bring my best piece and do my best. Like you said, you got to drive that track a little tighter, because being loose there isn't very helpful. Especially coming off the corner, where you lose a lot of time, you gain a lot of time off that corner, and if you're coming off loose, you're just not helping your cause.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead.
All I can say is that week after next is Talladega, and they always call Talladega the wild card. But from our perspective, where we're sitting right now, having to go into Dover, that's the wild card for me, because I'll tell you something. At a big track like Talladega, you may get involved in something. You may lose your car, but you may not get very much damage. You may not get any damage at all. You can make a mistake and survive. Make a mistake at Dover, you're not surviving that. Just like I said the other night, it's like racing in a tunnel. And if you make a mistake, you're fixing to hit something, and it's going to be concrete. Where you hit it is up to you, but you're going to hit it, I promise you.
Yes, you finished top 5 earlier in the season, Mr. Foley.
I'm sorry?
You finished in the top 5.
Oh, I did? Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable with my car, and you just got to stay out of the mayhem, and then be all right.
And the mailman won that race earlier in the year.
Oh, Steve Looney, the mailman, may have a little comeback coming.
And I wanted to say something about these points is that there is a lot of money to be won and lost in these points right now with 7 races to go. And I did notice that Steve Looney fell only 14 points back, but all my takeaway from that is that Steve Looney, the mailman, can pull off the track and not even race this race, and still liable to come back and whip you. So you better, I'm just saying, you better watch that guy. Well, y'all just saying he won Dover earlier this year? Okay.
If you've got those stats up there, Larry, I'm curious, where did I finish in the early race? 9. Yeah,
One lap down.
A lap down. I told you, man, that's one I usually struggle at. And that's one of those chase races that, once we get past Dover, the rest of the tracks I'm decent at, but this track right here is that's my breaker for the chase.
Texas kryptonite.
That's right.
I think that might be one of the reasons why I enjoy this track so much. Where did I finish our first race, Larry?
Hold on. You were back there a good ways. Let me check here one more time.
Come on.
I know you weren't in the top 9 anyway.
I probably got some of that concrete we were just talking about. I'm sure.
I know I did. I was out of the race. Me, RJ, and Aussie Bill were all out of the race.
It is Dover, so they don't call it the monster for nothing.
Pockets finished 11th. He didn't even make the top 10.
Oh, he didn't even make the top 10.
Oh.
Well, you got something to improve on then there, don't you?
That's what I was gonna say. I ain't got nowhere to go but up from here.
Yeah,
So
you
there
and me
you go.
both need a little improvement there.
It's like me. I got wrecked out and finished at the back, so all I got to do is finish running, and I'll be better than I was last time.
I'm gonna tell you, you don't hit anything there. You're top 5. I write that down. You can say that I said that.
Well, let's move on and take a look at Friday night. Friday night we run the Xfinity Series, also following the NASCAR schedule, and we also ran at Charlotte Motor Speedway, substituting that once again for the road course. And we had another great race at Charlotte in the Xfinity Series. We had at least 1 or 2 green flag pit stops in there. I think there were a couple more cautions, but we still had a great run, and it was a lot of fun. And this race, it was BSR Axel Foley and that Innovative Vapors machine, number 47 Ford Mustang, that brought home the victory at Charlotte. Great job, Axel, man. Congratulations.
Yes, great win, Mr. Axel Foley. Mr. Magoo got 2nd. Pockets got 3rd. Momo 4th. And Hot Rod rounds out the top 5.
Axel, man, we've said this a couple times on the last few episodes of the Spotter Stand. Axel's, ever since he's got that Innovative Vapors on that car, he's really been showing his stuff. He's been finishing. He's brought home several victories. Been finishing up there in the top 5. He's been running the crap out of that car, man. That's that Innovative Vapors really giving you the motivation there, hasn't it?
I mentioned it last week, and in case you didn't know, this week was the first last Friday I ran that Innovative Vapors car on Friday for the first time. So if that says anything, I mean, that was an awesome race and an amazing finish. I don't believe I led any laps until the final lap. I started in 2nd on the outside to Magoo, and I believe it was Monty Keller in 3rd place, and I was on the outside, and man, Monty was catching me on the inside, and just off of turn 3, coming off of to the last lap, I beat them both to the line. I passed them both, and I just held it. I think Magoo had a little bit older tires, and once I knew I was able to get in front of him, that was the victory. That car was great. Innovative Vapors just rocks and makes these cars super fast.
Yeah, Innovative Vapors. Speaking of Innovative Vapors, I recently received a package from Innovative Vapors, and I have not had time this week, but I need to take some pictures of what they sent me and share this with all of you guys. I really appreciate it. They sent me 3 bottles of the vape juice and a what do you call it? The thing you use, Axel.
The thing you use.
The
That's
thing
what I
you
call
use
it.
to put,
That's
the actual vapor
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, the
I
thing
mean,
you use to put the juice in.
a
That's what
good
it's
one, a nice
called.
one,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great package that Innovative Vapor sent me, and I encourage all you guys, if you vape or thinking about it, go and visit their website. What is it? Is it innovativevapors.com?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
InnovativeVapors.com.
Yeah, go visit their website. Check them
I
out.
also need to say that I got a package in the mail also, thanks to Axel and Jen and Brian and everyone at Innovative Vapors. And I, too, have got to take the time, sit down, put it all together. And with the success that Axel is having, I'm fixing to get me some Innovative Vapors vaping around inside my car to see if it makes me any faster, because it appears to be working for him. So, yes, I'm with you, Texan. I've got to do that also.
Axel, I really appreciate that, by the way. Now, did you want to go ahead and share your announcement with us now while we've got your vapor car up there and we're still talking about your victory here?
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to announce that next week I'm going to have a really big announcement to make on the spotter stand, and I hope you all stick around for it. No, I'm just kidding. So, um, let me put it like this. Just picture late 2000, early 2001. Ray Evernham wheels a new red Dodge, dealer's Dodge, onto the platform with Mr. Bill Elliott, and the car is listed as 94, as Bill, was running that number after he left his own team, ran for Junior Johnson, and then he was running the 94 car. And on the unveiling, uh, Ray Evernham, was a Bill Elliott, reaches down and peels off the floor, and he returns to the 9. And I just thought that was really cool, and showing back to his roots. And for next year, um, there'll be further announcements coming along with this regarding some sponsorship, some help to come along on this car for next year. But next year, I just want to announce that BSR Axel Foley is kind of taking a little walk into the sunset. I was going to use my own name. I'm proud to race at BSR very much, and I'd like everyone to know who I am, as far as people that know me personally outside of racing and can say, "Oh yeah, that's him. He's racing." But I think last week racing, someone coined a little nickname for me, and I thought it was fitting at the right time. So next year, I'd like to, for right now, I'd like to announce for next year that BSR Mayhem will be running the 4 car, with the help of Innovated Vapors and some other awesome things coming down the pipe that we will talk about hopefully before the end of the season, and for next year in 2019 at BSR, and it's going to be an amazing year.
BSR Mayhem. I believe I know who coined that, and that was just the other night in one of our races, and that is very fitting. Just like
Well-
the insurance, the Mayhem guy.
Yeah, without stepping on any copyrights or anything. But I did so the other night. That was you, Texan, who said it's chaos and mayhem up front.
Yeah, somebody else had actually already said the Mayhem part before that, and then that's where I got the idea. Chaos and Mayhem right there at the front. And it was a late race restart, and Axel was up there in the front with a couple other drivers, and yeah, Chaos and Mayhem up there.
Well, I just kind of was wishing I would have coined that phrase, but the things that I usually call Axel, you probably wouldn't want to make your name. So, all right. So you're changing to the number 4. All right. So after the history lesson there with Bill Elliott and giving us a great visual, what's behind the number 4?
Well, I'd like to think that Kevin Harvick will call me when he retires and ask me to drive his car. And it's amazing that they're running Mustangs next year, because I've already jumped on that bandwagon halfway through this season and started running the Mustang. And I tell you, it's fast. And so I would imagine that I'd be running for Kevin Harvick one day, because Tony Stewart's going to call me and everything's going to work out. But it all starts
Absolutely,
right here at
that's
BSR.
definitely going to happen.
Well, now I don't doubt that Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart it would be to their benefit if they called you to maybe play at an after party or provide some music for some kind of event they had. But when it comes to putting the 4 on the side of your car for that reason, I don't know that that's the best thing to do. But hey, yeah, I just wondering if the 4 had any historical or significant meaning other than that right there.
No, I'm being silly. I'm a Harvick fan, and I just dig that car. I think the 4 would look good on that car, and I think I'll be faster. That's really what it comes down to. You got to try something. And ever since those Innovative Vapors jumped on that car, I'm telling you, Rocket Man, utter mayhem.
Well,
So-
then that's great to hear. That's great news.
We're going to have the number 4 BSR Mayhem running next season. I'm sure you'll probably go ahead and once this season wraps up, bring that in for the off season and have it all hooked up, ready to go by the time next season starts. I'm looking forward to seeing that car and that Mayhem named, then I can really say there's chaos and mayhem up there.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
So the good news here is that you've stepped up here on the spotter stand with us today, and you've made a major commitment to these series and sim racing. And the bad news is also that you've made a commitment to these series, and we're going to be forced to be racing with you even more, just in a different car. Great sponsors, great people backing you, and everything like that. And I'm thrilled. I really am. I look forward to it. I welcome the change, and any support or anything you need, you've got it.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, just looking to start fresh. I feel like on a more positive note. I started in BSR racing, and I was running okay. I wasn't that competitive, and then Texan and Chevy and a bunch of guys were nice enough to share some setups, and I was looking through them, going, "Holy crap! Like this is why it's a completely different way to drive," and it's just cool to go from getting lucky winning a race and kind of running okay to running in the top 5 week after week and being able to win when the car is fast enough or you get lucky enough. So I hope next year brings many more victories, really clean racing. I freaking love racing here at BSR, and I'm privileged and honored to be able to race here as a member, and it's awesome. And all the sponsors and Mark and Drunken Cow Jerky and Innovated Vapors and Voiles Trucking and the Medicine, everybody that does things for this series. It's just awesome collaboration, and the racing is even more awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, and let me be the first to say, I wish we could say the same thing about you. We can't right now, but we hope to in the future.
Nothing but mayhem.
Axel knows I always give him a hard time, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't say something like that. He knows where I'm at with all this.
Amen.
Looks like Brain Fade has just arrived out there in the chat. He's asking if we can start over. I guess he missed a little bit of the show. You'll
tell him no, but he can.
Yeah, you can go back and watch it anytime you want there, Brain. I believe this is 4 races in to this chase in the Xfinity Series so far. We started 1 week ahead of the Cup chase. And let's move over to the points here. 4 races.
5.
5 already? 5 races.
Yeah.
This was halfway.
Halfway. So we're officially then halfway through the truck chase and halfway through the Xfinity race chase as well. Let's see how we stand with 5 races left to go in the chase.
Let's take a look.
And there I am, BSR Texan. I moved up a spot to take over the lead from Terry Scott. Terry Scott dropped 1 position down to 2nd place, back by 3 points. BSR Momo holding on to 3rd place, only back by 6 points. BSR Pockets holds on to 4th, down by 22. And BSR Brain Fade moves up a spot to take over, or actually tie, Larry Yeager, BSR Hot Rod, for 5th place, down by 28 points. Looks like Hot Rod, you jumped up 2 spots in that race as well.
I'm on the move.
Larry moved up 2 spots to tie for 5th place. Let's make sure we understand that. He rose up, put himself on the same level as Brain Fade in 5th place. Good job, Larry.
Man, look how close that is up there in the front. We're already halfway through the chase, and 3 points to 2nd place, 6 points to 3rd place, with 5 races to go. Man, this is a battle going on right here for this championship in the Xfinity Series.
28 points, 5 races. I still got my eye.
I tell you, that front 3's jumped out there a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. They had a pretty good lead coming in here, if I remember right, though.
And Terry Scott, man, he had bad luck early in that race and got some pretty heavy damage, and his car was a little bit off pace, and he hung it in there, still to pull off a decent finish, and only dropped back by 3 points. And Momo also, I believe he was a little further back going into this race, and he managed to finish, I believe, in front of me and Terry Scott both, and back only by 6 points now. In 3rd place. So, hats off to Terry for holding it in there. That's exactly what you got to do in this chase format. You know, we get down to the end of the season, there's only so many races to go. Even if your car's damaged, you got to hang it in there and get every position and every point you can. It may not be the funnest race for you, but that's what you got to do. And hats off to Terry, because that's what he did. He hung in there all the way to the end and managed a decent finish there at the end. Only dropped back by 3.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is halfway. The next 2 races are possibly the most pivotal 2 races of all 10, because survive the next 2.
Not with trucks. Trucks don't run Talladega.
This ain't trucks. This is Friday night.
The cars don't run.
Oh, it's trucks. That's right. Cars are in the fall. You're right. You're right. So we don't go to Talladega in this series. So
we do move to Dover next week in this series, though, correct?
Yes,
well, there you
that
go.
is correct.
There you go. What's after Dover? Are they off a week?
Kansas.
So they're off
All
during
3.
Talladega week, right? That's right. That's
I
right.
think all 3 go to Kansas after Talladega week.
I got you. I got you. All right. So the Friday night series, that's right, because we're moving the truck race to Friday night. That's right.
Right. That's why we got
Xfinity cars racing the spring trucks in the fall. I'm with you. I got you. I'm with you. All right. So disregard everything I just wasted time saying.
Well, let's move on and we'll take a look here at Saturday night. Or no, we can't move on to Saturday night yet. First, we've got to finish up Friday night. That's right. The Voiles Trucking Empire State Dirt Track Championship Series runs on Friday night after the Xfinity Series, our late night dirt race. And we did race at Canandaigua in the dirt this Friday night. And it was BSR Hot Rod, Larry Yeager Jr. I'll just call you Larry Rager. Larry Yeager. BSR Hot Rod brings home the victory at Canandaigua. Good job, Larry.
Yes, I got the win. Brian Boyle, 2nd. Magoo, 3rd. Brain Fade, 4th. And Mr. Looney rounds out the top 5. There's that mailman.
That mailman. There's that foot doctor right back up there. Larry won at Canandaigua. Woohoo! Next.
Well, we're only a couple of...
That's not really hardly news, is it?
I had to work my butt off to get that one. Brian Wills was just hooked up.
And everybody sees what's happening here. Brian Voiles has stepped up his racing program over there. Them boys must be working some late nights or something, because they've really brought it to all the racing here lately. So,
Yes.
Hey, I mean, keep mentioning Brain Fade. Furco's in there. I mean, these are the dirt guys. So it is what it is. You want to be part of it. You got to get in there and do the work and race for it. And that's what they're doing right now. And Foot Docs are still winning. So good luck to the rest of you.
Yeah, but I quietly stepped up the asphalt program, and nobody's noticing.
Oh, we're noticing. Don't think nobody's noticing, because we are.
But you think nobody realized you got a top 5 in friggin' this week at Charlotte? And by the way, where did I finish at Charlotte Friday night? Where was I? I stepped away for a second.
You were 6th.
I was 6th Friday night.
Larry stepped up there and stole your top 5.
Oh, it was Thursday night that I got a 3rd place podium finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Talk about that very.
Well, let's take a look at the points here in this Friday night dirt series. It is BSR Hot Rod holding down the top spot by a huge margin over 2nd place BSR Chevy Chase, down by 43 points. 3rd place Eli 114, down by 49. BSR Pockets in 4th, down by 50, and BSR Brian Voiles rounding out the top 5, down by 57.
That points lead would probably be a whole lot bigger if it wouldn't be for Brain Fade's major consistency, I'll tell you.
Oh.
I won 3 of the 4 races. So
I'm looking at the scoreboard. I don't really have anything to add here, so I'm in 4th place. So.
How many races left to go in this series, Larry?
How many races left to go before you get what a unprecedented? What is it? Third championship? Is that what that is? How many races we got left
This
for that?
was race 4 of 10.
4
We'll
of
be
10.
halfway next week.
Okay, so you still got time, but
Oh yeah, they're gonna get me. I've been having really good luck. My bad luck's bound to come.
well, we hope so. Being honest, I'd just like to be closer than 50 points anyway. But anyway. Oh yeah, that Canandaigua track, yeah, that's one of the top tracks there is. Land of the Legends is what they call it in the real world, and there was some legendary racing going on. So we will be back at that track. I've got it way up on my list.
Let's go ahead now. We can move on and take a look at the Saturday night series. Battle of the Six Flavors. We are into third race in to season number 36. This week we were at Talladega, and it was the Beer Bacon team, BSR Brian Voiles, and that Beer Bacon flavored Drunken Cow Jerky machine, bringing home the victory for his team at Talladega. Great job, Brian.
Yes, great win for Mr. Voiles.
Yes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about this. That was Brian's first official super speedway win at Bomb Squad Racing, and he did it driving for Beer Bacon in the Saturday Night Team Series Jerky.com Battle of the Six Flavors. Now, he did win the meet and greet race, but we said that wasn't an official scored race. It still counted as he's won a race when we're sitting around talking about it, but his first official one will be one that he will remember for a long time. I think he got his first speedway win not long ago, and now all of a sudden, look, we're just talking about they stepping up their program, and there's a picture of him right there. That you get those pictures because you win the race, and that's how that happens. So there it is, Brian. Congratulations.
Yes, I was glad to help him as much as I did in that race.
Yeah, Larry there had a great shot at winning that race. A little bad luck at the end there. I believe my teammate SS had bumper hooked, what was it, Ray 50, I believe, the car right in front of him, and ended up pushing him right up into Larry, and Larry in the wall. You know, it sucks when that happens right down at the finish of the race, especially when you feel like you've got a shot to win it. You know, but that's super speedway racing, and that's the way it goes sometimes. But Brian Voiles, man, great job bringing home that victory for Beer Bacon. I don't really want to get to the points. My team, you know, I
just want to get.
We had a terrible week.
I just want to get to the point to where I wanted to say that you were having the best week ever, moving up in the points, doing great, everything, and then we get to Saturday night, and I just wanted to point out that the first two races of the season, you won, right?
Yes, I did, and I paid for it last night, didn't I? Saturday, yeah, it was last night.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wrecked early. I think it was lap 5 or 6. I can't remember. It was early in the race, and I got into an incident, and my car was toast for the rest of that race. You know, I had to try to tough it out for my team there almost to the very end. I ended up pulling it off with a little over 10 to go, 2 laps down. Nothing more I could really do for my team at that point. But yeah, it was a rough race for the Ghost team this Saturday. So yeah, let's take a look and see how the points stand. Ghost,
because y'all had a good healthy lead.
We had
18 points.
17. We had a 17-point lead going in, and we're still in that top spot. But the Reaper team and the Beer Bacon team have both moved up. Reaper moved up 1 spot, only down by 10 points now. That's 7 points of our lead taken away in 1 race. Beer Bacon moved up 2 spots with that win by Brian Voiles to take over third, only down by 12 points. Hot did drop 2 spots, but still only down by 13. The original team picked up a spot, down by 23. and Teriyaki dropped 2 spots, down by 28. Yeah, but
I-
look at those top 4 teams, still extremely close. Second to fourth, 10 points, 12 points, 13 points. Those guys are right there, all right on top of each other.
Everybody gained points on the Ghost team except for Teriyaki. They had the worst luck of the race.
And
Yeah,
I think
we ended up with an 8th place finish, I believe, is where
Yes.
our top
They
driver
finished-
finishes, eighth place, which it could have been a lot worse. At least we were still inside the top 10 there, and did manage to hold on to the lead. And hey, we're not giving up, man. We're going to be back in there, especially these next 2 weeks with the big announcement of the breast cancer awareness races. We're going to be in there fighting for keeping our team on the top and to get ourselves up there in those 2 combined races and see if we can't maybe win some beef jerky.
Teriyaki's team finished, I believe Chevy was the first one out. Then it was Jimmy Dale, and then it was Spurko. All 3 of them, they were the last 3 cars.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I was thinking about this the other night too. The way this team series works and everything, and I mentioned if you didn't have a car or you wanted to come in like Axel was, I guess he was referring to, he may want to enter into the breast cancer awareness challenge as an individual. And I can tell you this: if you as an individual come to those 2 races and win in the team series, that's legendary stuff right there. You've done something. Come in there and beat those teams as an individual, working and using it however you want to, whatever presents itself for you to put yourself in victory lane on Saturday night in the Battle of the 6 Flavors. Come on in there. I want to see that, because you will have done something. So that's part of it.
Yeah, speaking of coming on in there, we've got Les Alexander in the booth with us. Les, we see you a lot out there watching the streams. We haven't raced with you in a while. It's been a while since you've been able to get in. Maybe you can come in and join us in a couple of these breast cancer awareness races and get back out on the track with us and turn some laps and maybe have some fun. Is Les still with us?
Maybe not. He might have stepped away.
He must have
He's
stepped
in
away.
the team speak, but yeah, he must have stepped out.
Let's move over to the Saturday night Voiles Trucking Series. This Saturday night, the Voiles Trucking Series ran at Dover, and we got a little preview of what the Friday night race this coming up week may be like. Like I said, in the truck physics, it's not quite so bad a race as the Cup. You can still get pretty loose. It's still a loose racetrack, but most of the time you can hold on to your car all the way to the end of the fuel run. It doesn't get as loose as it does in the Cup Series. But this Friday night, it was BSR Ricky J bringing home another victory this week. That was 2 for him this week, bringing home the win at Dover in that 193 Voiles trucking ride. Great job, Rick.
Yes, good job to Ricky J. HB Hardy 2nd, Magoo 3rd, Texan 4th, and Monty Keller 5th.
How many races left to go in this series? We're only about 3-4 races in, I believe, or no, 5 races in. Are we about halfway already?
7.
We're already 7 races in.
7.
Wow.
I thought it was 6.
No, it was 7.
That was 7?
Yes, sir.
There's 3 left.
Yes, Michigan, Talladega, and Texas.
Oh, we get to finish up at my home track. How about that?
Yes, Michigan's next week. Talladega week's Talladega, and then we wrap up in Texas.
Well, those are 3 great tracks to finish off the season with. Michigan, great big track. Always a lot of fun racing there, especially in the truck physics where the draft really comes into play. That's going to be a fun race next week in this series at Michigan. Let's take a look at the points here with 3 races to go. I'm still holding on to that top spot up there with Brian Voiles in 2nd place, down by 36. BSR Ricky J with the victory moves up 3 spots to tie for 3rd with BSR Scar down by 41. And Steve Looney rounding out the top 5 down by 44. 3 races to go. I wonder, you know, if Ricky J or Scar or Brian Voiles can step up there and do something and try to take this championship away from me. You know, I really do want to win one of these Voiles Trucking Series. I haven't been able to pull that off, and with only 3 races to go, I'm looking at my best shot right here.
So you've never won a Voiles Trucking Black? Is that what you're saying?
I believe we brought that up before. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Never have.
Oh.
Not for lack of trying. There's some good drivers that show up to these late night series, man.
Yeah.
That Friday night dirt series and this Saturday night series, it's not easy. There's some good racers here. So
that's one of those ones when you hang it on the wall, you will have earned it. I will assure you. And then, but look at Brian Voiles in second place. Where the hell did he come from? Who is that guy?
I know the race for this one's going to be tight between the top 6, between 2nd to 6th. I know that's going to be a tight race. Killer's going to go on the defense mode, and I think he's going to pretty much hang on to that lead.
Yeah, man. I mean, look at or at least 3rd to 8, or 3rd to 8.
Second to 8.
Yeah, 2nd to 8.
Oh, right there.
That's thing can go. 3 races left.
Yep.
Talladega's one of them.
Yep. Well, I generally run pretty good at all of those tracks. Let me knock on some wood here. I generally run pretty good at Michigan, Texas, and I'm no slouch at the super speedway racing either. But these big tracks like Michigan, Talladega, anything can happen. Incidents can happen right in front of you. My car, you guys know I drive a little on the loose side sometimes. So Michigan could be tough for me. I could end up in the wall or spun out somewhere and have a really bad race. And one bad race, that can cost me quite a few points. So, 3 races to go. These guys in 2nd and 3rd, they're definitely not out of it. And I can't count out the mailman back there in 5th place down by 44 either.
Gotta keep your eye on that mailman's all I got to tell you. I've seen that guy before.
I did find figured a bunch of stuff out for the Dover race we're going to implement on Friday. So just keep an eye out on that 65 car for Friday night.
That was a good little pre-race, little series race before we head off to the big show over there on.
Yep, I tried loosening the car up. Taping it up for that last little run that we had, and I know not to do that next Friday. I know that for sure. Made it a little too loose, and it just couldn't get the handle on it. So,
well, let's take a few minutes here and thank all of our great sponsors here at BSR. Of course, we'd like to thank Mark and Richard Heyman over at Drunken Cow Jerky, Brian and Kathy Voiles from Voiles Trucking, Rick Craddock from Real Tech LLC, BSR Scar from WLS Graphics, BSR RJ Rusty over at the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, and BSR Tyler and Rhoda over at Hello Sunshine Hello. You guys really do a lot for this league. Every one of these sponsors do quite a bit, and we really appreciate you guys making this place a great place to race. Like Axel was saying earlier, I'm proud to be a part of BSR and to be able to race here every week and every night. I've got a lot of great friends here. Even if the racing is not so good for me all the time, we always have a great time on TeamSpeak. There's always a lot of laughing and joking going on during the races, and I love racing here, and I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be.
Yep, we got big things coming. This is October. October's huge here at Bomb Squad Racing. DrunkenCowJerky.com series, Voiles Trucking series, and we're going to keep you up to date right here every Sunday on the spotter stand. Thanks to Killa for everything he does, putting this all together. Larry, all the hard work he's been doing. We got streams, we got prizes, we got all kinds of stuff going on. So y'all watch our Facebook page and get ready for all this stuff, and we'll keep you up to date every Sunday here. Thanks, fellas. That's all I got. Holla.
Speaking of, one quick thing, throw in before you take off, text in Bomb Squad Racing Live in the dirt First time for an announcer. We'll
Oh,
have a
really?
live announcer.
Live announcer this coming up week, huh?
Yes, in the dirt. She's going to try it out in the dirt, see how it goes there. Maybe Thursday night. If it goes good in the dirt, she's going to do Thursday. Goes good Thursday, she's going to do Friday. The goal is to definitely do a live broadcast from the Boils or the team race for the breast cancer race.
There you go.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that. I might have to just send my stream viewers over to the Bomb Squad Racing Live view and watch it myself while the race is going on. Or either that, or I'll run my stream and be watching yours at the same time. One or the other. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome.
Yes, Larry and Trish have done a lot of work on that, so y'all be looking for we're putting it out there a little bit at a time as testing and letting people look at it and see what they think, taking suggestions. We're working on it. Larry's worked his tail off this week on that, and I really appreciate that, Larry, because that's going to be something special that people can watch, and it's not just from the driver's perspective. It's kind of like if you were sitting in the stands watching a real race. That's what we're working on to provide you here. We're always working on something, and we're taking into consideration not just the people that race here, but our sponsors and everyone else that just might like sim racing or just might check this out. Like I've said, I can't believe there aren't 10,000 people watching it, but you can be fortunate enough to be one of the very first people and say, I remember when this channel was just little and now everybody else. So there you go. That's your tip for the week.
And that's all I got then, guys.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for helping out once again this week with the spotter stand. Thanks, Axel, for coming on, being a part of the show. Everybody who watched out there, we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching live every week. And we will be back next week with all the updates and info from Dover and all of the other series. And with that, we're out of here, and we will see you guys next week on the spotter stand.
See ya.